Okay. Hi and welcome everybody to today's episode of the Profitable Copywriter podcast. Today I've got Dawn Baxter, who is a social media and selling guru. She's the founder of Beyond the Dawn Digital, and that's a full high-risk digital marketing brand and agency. We're all about talking about passive income this month on the podcast, and I'm so grateful that she's come to speak to us about her particular story. Our friend Lisa Johnson is always talking about how your mind will look for evidence of people's stories and things that actually tell you that this is possible for you too. So we're going to talk to her today about what it is that she's achieved. So Dawnie, can you tell me a bit about your business, please? That would be amazing.
Certainly. So I have a full service digital marketing agency, one of the biggest and best female-only and female-led agencies in the northwest of the UK. And we basically support female entrepreneurs primarily to get more visibility, to get quality leads, to build their audiences, and to really connect with people online so that they can make sales ease and without having to use the smarmy tactic or any of the bad things people are teaching online in terms of like trying to shock for sales. And we use a lot of our own personal positive psychology methodology as well. We do it with X, so it's different to your box digital marketing in AD, because we are all about connecting and giving people better than you found them, nurturing people in a really unique way, so that they can really kind of embrace what is within their power when getting their communications and messaging out of their businesses. So it's really fun. There's a lot of joy there, and we're busy all like I say, all the time.
I can imagine, because you know what, you're injecting the joy back into copywriting essentially, aren't you? And messaging and how people can explain their businesses without that. We always have that adage, don't we, of the car salesman and the pushy tactics, and I totally agree with you. That it's such an amazing mission, Dawnie. I'm so glad to be talking to you today about this.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, so set the scene for us. What was your situation pre-passive income? Tell us a bit about that.
Oh, it's a wonderful situation. I had just had my son Jack. I just had a C-section with my son Jack, so I was laid up. I had a print company that I'd created in the last month of maternity leave before I'd gone and have him, that was taking off, like ridiculously taking off. And when I say a print company, we had fashion ranges, we had home interior decor prints, and every single item that's for sale in our store was handmade by me. Wow. So I had a newborn baby. I had this amazing print company that was just taking off. We didn't expect it to be as popular as it was. It went from 0 to 60 real quick. I'd obviously just had a C-section, so I was meant to be relaxing for 12 weeks to heal. And on top of that, our social media presence had become so kind of immediately attractive and magnetic. We were having other brands come to us to ask if we could give them tips or hints or support them in what we were doing so well within our company. Could we actually support them in doing some things? Because at the time, there was a real boom for mummy makers, for lack of a better term, especially on Instagram. Everybody who was creative and crafty started some sort of side hustle. It was a big thing in 2002. And just kind of spat from there. Half an agency, maternity leave, tiny little baby, busy mummy, and that was me. I was very grateful. I was very happy, but my gosh, I was tired. I was so tired. In order to keep the business going, there were regular all-nighters. Luckily, I didn't sleep, so that's helpful anyway. And it was bedlam. And the amount of money that I left with after overheads, postage, all of that stuff, if it were to work me out at an hour wage, I was not getting anywhere near minimum wage. I was probably paying myself something ridiculous like £2 an hour or something. And it quickly became apparent to me that though I was enjoying what I was doing to some degree, it was not sustainable long term. And I knew that it wasn't going something that we'd be able to continue in for years and years to come. So I very quickly realised that the business model that I had kind of fallen into accidentally was never going to be my main business model, and I was going to need to shift and change and include and remove and make things just a little more livable for me going forward. And that's started to consider whether I
think that's the point of. I'm sorry. This is the thing, isn't it? You get to the point where it's like, well, you've only got a finite amount of time, and then were you at that point there where you were looking around to say, like, what can I do that is more sustainable?
Yeah. So I did what a lot of business people do. I spent a good maybe month signing up to every feed that was going, looking at every YouTube video that was available, Googling lots of stuff, and taking in a lot of non-expert level general advice information, which fulfills you. It feels like you're doing something productive, but what you're actually doing is not taking real expert advice and not actually fully committing to what you're about to do next. And I soon realised that lots of people that were coming to me for the social media support, the agency stuff, because I did have qualifications in marketing, there was a whole area of business there that I perhaps wasn't even exploring as an income. So I very quickly started looking for a mentor, for somebody who had actually done what it was I wanted to do, not just somebody who had an opinion and was talking about it, but somebody who actually walked that talk. That's when I came across Lisa Johnson through the 60s of separation. There was a coach at the time that was running some ads, and I thought, oh, that lady looks nice. And I went to see her page, and she had a video where she was talking about Lisa, and that sounds interesting. Skipped on over to Lisa's page, and that was it. Never left her since.
Well, this is it, isn't it? Because you really, and I'm passionate with this. Like when I learned to copyright, I got somebody who'd already done the stuff that I wanted to do. And it was only because she actually was saying at the time, this girl called Nikki, you need somebody who's already got those results, because otherwise it's hit and miss. You don't know whether that person is qualified to give you that advice. And I think this is what I found with Lisa as well, and passive income. So tell me, so you found Lisa, right? And you started implementing recurring revenue. So what streams of recurring revenue did you implement into your business then?
Well, what I did first was I packaged up my offers in a way that didn't equate to me giving time for money. So this whole idea of there being an hourly wage, I scrapped it. I scrapped it. That doesn't exist to me anymore. We don't charge on hours. We don't charge on that. That's just not a thing. And then what I did was I include lots and lots of opportunities for people to work with me and come into my world that allowed me to provide high value, but at great introductory pricing structures that did not require me to be there live, which I mean is probably the best way to describe semi-passive income, right?
Yeah.
So now we have an entire library of passive. I say passive, it's semi-passive for me, because obviously I do still build the courses and I still record the courses, and then I still oversee training suites and things like that. But once I've done that, it's completely passive. Nothing for me to do. I've done that. Like, it's literally available for our clients. Click in, purchase, buy, watch, and use without meaning to be there. We have some different products. I would probably blow your mind. Went through them all. We have an entire merchandise line because what's really funny is I'm full circle in the 4 years. I've actually gone back to my roots that I did with my print shop, and we have a semi-passive merch line. So all of the design stuff that I had with Pretty Prints is now come back through our merch library on the Dawn, which is really for us to reintroduce, because at a point I had to shelve that, and now we've got a stage where we've been able to very easily fold it to our business model, because our team has expanded with studios, we've got full queue, so able to bring stuff back in. But in terms of products, there's no limit. Every single is another opportunity for me to include another income stream into my business semi-passive way. And it's only semi-passive first time you do it. The second time you do it, it's fully passive. And so many people that like passive income actually exists. It's not something that you could actually get. People are not sat sipping margaritas on the beach and money. And the truth be told, that for the 9% of people out there, especially first maybe 5 years, that's very unlikely. That's very true. It's very unlikely that you're on a beach drinking margarita. But the second lockdown of 2020, I did that.
That's awesome.
I did, and there was a half term. Boss opened up a travel corridor, as they used to back in the day. And we took a flight to Fuerteventura. It was only meant to be a week's family holiday. We heard wind on the grapevine, because that the media was breaking what he was going to say, but he said it on his little lives that he was doing. And we got wind that were going to close the UK back down. So we made the decision that we were going to stay out in Fuerteventura, and we lived out there for 3 months. We didn't come home. I bought myself a little Spanish laptop, and I oversaw my team beach with a margarita. And there was one day, it was close to my birthday. I remember posting about it, because we had, I think it was maybe my third time it had happened, but it was the first time it happened where I hadn't been in the office or I hadn't been working. We had like a 13 grand day. I was literally on a yacht with my husband and 2 children. Like, that's the stuff that people say doesn't happen. It does happen. There's work that needs to happen beforehand. You're not just going to wake up tomorrow and be able to do that. But you can build a sustainable business model that includes that. If you've got the work ethic, you've got the motivation to put what needs to be put in place foundationally, you absolutely can do that. And I know that because I did it. It was such a beautiful time for me as well, because the idea behind staying out there was a no-brainer. We didn't say it. We could afford to do it. The UK was closed down in May. Luckily, one of my children wasn't in school yet. The other one, their school supported her and sent her to school work online anyway. So literally, at some points, me and Bailey were sat on each, passing the laptop back and forth, doing little bits and pieces. I do my email, make sure my girls were okay, it was fine, they didn't need me for it. Pass the laptop over to her to do her schoolwork. It was something wonderful.
Oh.
And so I mean, it's definitely possible, and we have a lot of semi-passive, our passive income streams, and we build on it every single week. It's not something now that's just a one-off thing. Do you know what I mean? Every single week, we'll make this thing. We'll add this thing.
That's the thing. There's no limit, is there? You could just think of something new tomorrow and add it, and then it's there, isn't it? Creating income.
Yeah, and once you've built the main structure of it, adding things in is easy.
I'm getting from all that you really need to have this transference from being exhausted to like almost shifting back into that original joy that you were finding with your business at the beginning, which...
Yeah, because the joy is when you're busy. I'm ADHD, so I like being busy. My nervous really digs it. But at the same time, I can't live like that. Nobody's like that. I'm only human. The physical burnout is a real thing. Whether you like it or not, like my brain loves to be 600 miles a minute, but my body doesn't. But I take care of my body too. And I think the main things for me is the opportunity to see that there are possibilities. Everything that Lisa teaches in her challenges and her course, quite often it's not just about you can do this business thing. It's breaking through the mindset that people don't do this. You know, people talk about it, but they don't. I've had so many people say to me, it's funny because I read some of the comments on my Telegraph article that came out last year. I never read anything that people say on the comment section of the media, but I read some, and somebody had put in the, and I'm so proud of this, somebody had put something along the lines of, oh, so I'm sure Daddy gave her lots of money to start a digital marketing agency or something along the lines.
Yeah.
And it made me giggle because I started my business with a print, which is actually sat behind me. You can see on this video.
Oh, that's awesome.
I started my business with this printer. It was £187. Like, that's how I started my business. There was no money. There was no kind of trust fund for Eldornio. Like, that just wasn't a thing.
So you would say that anybody could set this up then?
Anyone. Laptop, kitchen table, and a dream. You can do it.
Why did then? Okay, I just want an adage just for interest, and then I'll get on to the next question. I was in Lanzarote that same week that you were in Fuerte. I just wish I'd stayed there.
You were just one island.
I know, that is awesome. How weird, strange, small world. Anyway, right, so I know. Why then? Okay, why else did you choose Lisa? Because you've described some reasons there, but is there anything else that really sets Lisa apart? That you decided to have her as a mentor rather than anyone else you'd seen in the interim?
Yes, I think because I'm in marketing and I can stop being sold to a mile off. I actually found myself in a position where I really resonated with Lisa because she did gatekeep. And all people online who were giving information, I just felt like she was really ill about it. And at the time, there were a lot of coaches, and I was aware of a lot of them, and they were doing something, a shitty business technique, which I really can't stand, called bait and switch, where they would create a free resource, and then the free resource would be introduced to you as free. So you'd go for the free information, and then you have to pay to actually get the answers. And I did one of Lisa's challenges, and she did 5 masterclasses in this challenge. And once we had to pay to get the punchline. She freely offered us information that we could take away there and then and actually do something with. I've seen so many other people not do that. Like they give you of the information and they seem really desirable, never give you anything about. And then I think that's so different.
Yeah, you come away feeling a bit like deflated, don't you, with the other people? I totally see that completely.
Yeah, and false economy as well. Because those people then trust in you, and one of it was really trendy at the time was kind of like being scared about giving away your gifts. You know, like oh, how to make sure that I don't tell these people too much free. I would say 80% of the people that had got value out of Lisa's masterclass went on to work because she was real.
And she actually is not scared about like giving you the how is she. That's what I was quite surprised about when I was on a masterclass, a new challenge. I was like, okay, this is really different. I expected, like to have to do something, to pay something, to, yeah, I know exactly what you mean there.
Yeah, she gave us to do that, and I was in a position, I was helping a lot of people for free in a different way, in a arena. I was doing it in people's DMs, and so freely giving information and supporting people, but I wasn't earning anything from it ever, which meant I quite quickly was kind of like, not help any more people because I want to help people because I need to make some money. And I realised through watching Lisa's classes that actually I've been doing that exact same thing, just not as smart, not as collectively. And I've taken that with me. All the challenges that I've ever done since have been high value. You can do a challenge and learn something regardless of whether you ever spend a penny. And that's Lisa's ethos that I have adopted. And that's why when she runs a challenge, race to recurring revenue, I'm always the first one screaming at people to join. Come and enjoy the challenge. It's free, and it's not free in the kind of like oh, freebie chaser, just come because it's free and why not. I'm like, it's got serious punch and value. Come do it because you will walk away learning something new. Like that. There's no doubt in my mind. After supporting Lisa now, this might be the 4th or 5th to recurring challenge where we've community managed the challenge group. Like after supporting her with that, literally thousands, there was 10,000 people in the challenge last year, and they walk away better than Lisa found them, much better, and I just think that's very rare. And we should all be that way.
I think so. And like there's been people, hasn't there, that have made money, they're just doing that challenge.
Oh,
this
God,
is what
people make money 2 or 3 days in. People will come to the group and say, thank you, that idea that you gave, just went and ran with that and did something with it, and I made money today. This is what I mean, like the value awakenings, the breakthroughs, it's all good stuff. And also the people that it attracts, you want to be in a room.
Yeah. It's like the vibe of it. I can't wait personally because I've got, like yourself, you've probably got ideas cooking up there. Probably don't even realise what they are yet, but they come out, don't they? And they have done.
Have done, yeah. It's worth doing, no matter what stage of business you perceive yourself at. Because there's always, this is what I always say when I do mine as well. We don't give ourselves the time to really focus on what we need to be focused on, because we're always so busy doing. But quite often you need to recreate, because the doing and being is, and you can get paid, you can have an income for being. You don't have to constantly be doing. That's the whole idea. Excuse me, around passive, right? That you don't have to be on the wheel the entire time to make it work.
I love that. It's that realising that I don't have to necessarily flog myself to achieve that great income. Okay, so you were one of the one-to-many students, obviously. This is Lisa's main course, and it's all about passive income. I just want to know, like, what was the best thing about that? If anybody, further down the line at some point is thinking about taking that course, what's the best thing about it, and how did it help you achieve your goals?
So what was really good for me for one-to-many was it was a massive confidence boost in terms of my thinking, because I already had a membership group when I joined. It was all Passion for Passive back then. I already had a membership group when I joined. I already had a course that was kind of built. I had a handful of social media management clients, and yeah, there was just kind of a peppering of inspiration already there. So when I joined Passion for Passive, the main thing that really struck me was that the model that I was going into was actually good work against me. I put myself in this arena of changing my models to have more time, and then accidentally overcommitted myself into situations that required me to be on the hook even more. So that was really an eye-opener for me, and I love Passion for Passive for that, because it helped me to figure out that my thinking was correct, my strategy was correct, but there was still ways and means of doing it that I perhaps hadn't explored. And one thing I always say about OTM, one to many, is that you probably you can learn these things, and you can learn them in a really segmented, disconnected way, and never come out with the same result. But because of course teach you how one thing leads into the next thing, leads into the next thing, leads to the next thing, it actually fast tracks you through all of those elements in a much more efficient way. So I mean, you spend money in one way or another, but there are ways to spend less money and less time and get there quicker, so you can have an income that's impactful quicker. And that's what's really good about One to Many. It allows you to connect all the dots, so you're not in a position of trying guesswork anymore. It gives you the real time information, and of course the funnel. The funnel was a massive draw for me. At that time, it was easily like £1,500, £2,000 to have somebody to build your funnel. And of course, you got a funnel created for you as a bonus, free, alongside the course, which was blooming amazing. And that helped us in that first 6 to 12 months. That helped us build an email list, and not just any old email list, a quality email list. Because I'm very lucky, because my expertise is in building audiences and gaining quality leads. Everything that I get out of Passion for Passive was just a perfect fit to what I already knew. So that's it for me then. 6 months later, I did my investment for the course back. Wow. No problem at all. I had a list long as your arm of things that I wanted to do, and I remember sending this to the list saying,
but she was like, stop.
She was like, I was like, which one do I do first? She was like, I have no doubt that you'll do all of them at some point. And she's not wrong. I think the last one that was on this, me and the girls are celebrating last September, launched it. So from 2019 to 2022, I have every single thing that's sent on list over Lisa on that call. I said, what I had a million ideas. It's like, I've got no doubt the deal done, and I have now. And now I've got more ideas, because it never stops. You get into it, and there's always more opportunity. There's always more places for you to discover, which is what the beautiful about it really is.
I love that as well, that you're explaining like a realistic timeline as well. Like, you know what, it's not these scammy things where you hear, oh, I went from 0 to 1 million in a month. It's not like that. You have to put the work in, as you go. But it's profitable work, because it comes back into your business, doesn't it? Which I think is amazing.
Yeah, and one of the things that is a lack of understanding was definitely a lack of understanding for me, because I was a brand new business owner, came straight out of corporate. I never had to worry about a thing. Like the pay went. I was increasingly stressed, and I wasn't happy. Pay went in at the same time every month. We went out at the same time. There was no kind of situation with difficulties, but when you go into business world, you don't understand what a return investment actually is. You think that you can do everything for free, and you can just make money, and that you don't have to invest in order to get to that state. It's a bit of a misnomer, because it's not true. If you actually want to do it and do it well, and have a sustainable business that's going to be your lifeblood going forward for a long period of time, even if you only look at it from a 5 or 10 year perspective, then you're not going to do that by freebie. You're going to have to at some point invest, but you have to recognize what is a good investment and what is a bad investment. And I like to split investments into 3 different categories. Is this a good investment that gives me a very clear return? Is that return going to be 10 plus 10 or more? One to Many sits in that area 100%. We've proven it thousands of times over. It's not even a question. Is this investment going to be something that's joyful, that's going to create more energetic capacity, something that's going to allow us to be lighter, to be freer, to be more magnetic to our people? Those ones you might not see a financial return, but oh my God, is there a return? Oh my God, is there a return on that one? And that one, also a no-brainer for me. I've done a lot of mindset work, but new business owner, that one is still like, ooh, that's a scary investment. And then you've got ones that are like, oh, that this is a risk. It's a risk investment. Is there a chance that this won't go anywhere? And again, I sound awful, don't I? I'm just shelling all money out now, but I've got a budget for it, so it's fine because I make money, so I can. But like the last one, the risky one, they're the ones that maybe make you think to yourself, I'm not sure whether I should do this. They'll have a high return, but the return isn't guaranteed. And I still, most of the time, do them because even if you don't get a financial return, you get a lesson. And that lesson will most likely be actually priceless to what you then choose to do in your business. But no, one-to-many is definitely one of the things where you have to know how to be comfortable with recognizing what is going to be foundationally good for you for a long time. I mean, I'm sat here talking to you now, 2023. I made that investment in 2019. I'm still sat here to you now about how valuable it's as valuable to me today as it was 2019.
That's amazing. It continues to be a good investment years down the line.
Well, it's forever. Is that the business I have now is built on the foundations of everything that I learned in that year. 2019 was the round year for me where I started. I didn't work less per se. I quit my job. I went back to my job after maternity leave. And 2019, I was able to quit and do my business time. So that's a way meant I gained some time back, like my family. Because I wasn't having to do things on evening and week as often, still occasionally, but not as often. And then it just got better and better and better and better. And sometimes this is really good to talk about, actually, darling. I'm so glad that we.
Oh, it's okay. It's cool.
Like just today is my son's 6th day, and at half past 8, I leave my studio and go spend the afternoon with mum. And in 2016. That wouldn't have been an option. That wouldn't have even been an option. Like I get my kids up from school. I leave the studio when I want. If I work from home. If I want to work from anywhere in the world for any length of time, I can. And that's all based on what changes I made to my business in 2019 and one-to-many, which back then was Passion for Passive, was one of those things. It was one of the things that catapulted and made the catalyst of what I now have. And what I love about Passion for Passive, one-to-many, is that even if you don't do the course, you must do the challenge that comes before it. Because even if you don't do that bit, you don't want to miss what Lisa's been away for free ahead of it. It's life-changing.
You might just have that little amount of time. You might have this totally draining job, but you can do it in less than an hour a day, can't you? And
oh God, yeah, lots of people do the challenge in like 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's not a massive amount, is it? And
she's a master at making it really, really easy, and it should be easy because she recognises that people are busy, they've got other things going on. It fits into life quite, and also the community. If anything, you'll have to be self-disciplined because you want to hang out in that space. Do you know what I mean? Once it gets going and the energy, you want to be there.
It's so cool, isn't it? And it is so inspirational. Like ideas come up in your head because you led them, because people around you are bouncing ideas, and I love that space because it is so. I don't know. It opens your mind up to new possibilities. Sometimes that life, when it's busy, you get chaotic inside your brain, and it just lets you just have that space in time, doesn't it, to be creative? Yeah. That's what I love. Yeah.
100%.
All right. So tell me then, what is next? You don't have to give everything away, but what is next for your? You don't have to give him your whole business plan. But one thing that's next for you as a result of what you've learned by passive income.
So we are in a really exciting time now. So at the moment we are going through a bit of a transition. We're doing I would say kind of like intense content creation opportunities. So we're bringing our clients over to our studio, and we're spending 2-3 days on strategy, and then meeting video, audio, and photography experiences, and basically cramming months and months of content into a couple of days.
Wow.
It's like an intensive, but for busy entrepreneurs, it's the best way to do it. We batch create, we can get a strategy so we know exactly what we're doing. So we're doing a lot of that at the moment, which again, you probably wouldn't consider to be super passive, but it's not time for me, because again, we don't do by the hours. It's the package. So cramming a lot of work into a small space of time. On top of that, we got some exciting news just a couple of weeks ago, which has changed where we're headed kind of in the next 12 months to 24 months. So we have been certifying social media managers now for probably 2.5 years, maybe 3 actually. And where that came from is that digital marketing is an unregulated field, and you can find anybody on Facebook that says that they're a social media manager, but that means that they've had any experience or qualifications, means that they know how to log into Facebook and post something, right? And so many of our entrepreneurial clients have come to us. I wish I could say that I'm this person they meet, but so often I'm not. And we are maybe so in 2023, but definitely in 2020 to 2021. We were noticing that people getting burned, then they were paying a lot of money out and not actually getting a return on the invest. And it's so unfortunate because there's still a lingering feeling of marketing a set way, and because as an agency they do it suddenly and we do it with such authority, some people don't recognise its benefit or value, and then other people will come to us immediately recognise it because they've been burned by the other side, So long story short, we've been certifying social managers, making sure that girls that are out there are the highest level that can be, that they're comfortable, that their clients are getting return on their investment, and that the client is being well treated and looked after and positively served. Ethics, which is just so needed in this industry. So the ripple of good we believe goes quite far. Anyway, our certification is a private certification, or at least private certification, a couple of weeks ago. So basically, it was taking an hour that these people were amazing social media managers. But we just got the first UK ever quality standard trademark for social managers by UK Government Marketing Office. So we plan to take that and run with it. We're going to be making sure that certain managers in the UK have that training so that they're supported, so that they are comfortable and they can earn really good money, and they can do really good work, but they have a network of people who hold them, because it is a tough industry to treat in. But
it's exciting.
We're going to open up opportunities for coaches and mentors to learn how to certify social media managers, that we can train the trainer and get this methodology out there quicker to more people and help more people over a wide range of occasions. Again,
that's so exciting. Wow.
And then from the passive side as well, there's numerous stuff coming out every single day. We have a template shop membership, which is semi-passive for us, which every single month more templates go in for graphic design. We've got a pro membership that gets new training every single day, and we've got a full self-learning library of courses that gets added to literally every single week, every single month. So it's all going off.
Wow, Dawn. Do you know what? It's been lovely speaking to you today and just sharing that inspiration. I'm already feeling really like excited now, and the challenge isn't to the 20th, is it?
I know, we have to sit on our hands a little bit, but when it comes around, we'll be ready.
Yeah, oh, thank you again so much, and for sharing the inspiration with other people, even if it's just to get them started on thinking that they can improve their life with passive income.
That would be great. It would be so good. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Thank you so much, and I'll speak soon.
Speak soon.